Hi, everyone. Happy to have you on our first session, our first fire coaching session. Today, we're going to talk about how to be successful on LinkedIn or how to build and promote your personal brand on LinkedIn. It's the two of us. Since it's the first session, we just take a few minutes to introduce ourselves and maybe tell you a little bit about the framework of the session. Maybe Shreya starts with introducing himself and then I'll continue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shreyas Kaushik. I'm the founder and CEO of Get Set Rise Coaching. I am an executive and life coach, certified in both executive assessments and life coaching assessments. My niche is to help people be aware of their own strengths and challenges. And I do that by a mix of coaching assessments and through my skills of asking really empowering and open-ended questions in a way which helps my clients find the answers within themselves. So I'm really glad to be teaming up here and delivering some key values that our listeners can take away. And glad to be collaborating with you, Melody.
Great, that's exciting. Yeah, so maybe a few words about myself. So I am a personal brand strategist. I help people create a powerful pitch for their personal brand, for their own business and ideas. So from entrepreneurs to small business owners or people who are seeking jobs. I'm there to help. I have been years for big and small brands. And so I bring all this experience together and share it with people to become more successful and create powerful brands. And that being said, this is also part of our session today. So I think we're going to dive right into it. So these fire coaching sessions that Shreyas and me are going to host every week is really a framework that should give you a holistic idea of how to promote yourself and we are going to structure it in a way that you will have 5 takeaways every single time. So in every session, we're going to make sure that you are going to walk away with actionable advice and actionable items that you can utilize for yourself. So maybe we just take a minute to talk about why we've been joining forces and why we think we're able, or the combination of Shreyas and me. So that being said, I think Shreyas, maybe you can start on the just elaborating a little bit how our collaboration is going to help and who it's going to help.
First of all, this is certainly an interesting collaboration because at the outset, personal branding and coaching might seem totally different, but in more than one way, there is certainly a great correlation with how coaching and branding can help. Number one, through coaching, I believe that the person or the client is the brand, and whatever they do additionally are just the tools that will aid them to complete their purpose or achieve their goals. For example, me being an engineer, I use my design softwares, but they are just the tools. Ultimately, I'm the brand that comes out with these great ideas, develop new products, and deliver to the customer's expectations. The second thing about personal branding and coaching is identifying your purpose, identifying your value, and also the key things that you might be able to offer in your particular domain. So these two things are really important if you want to make headway, especially given the current challenges. People are upskilling continuously. So ensuring that your brand value speaks for yourself and speaks about what you can offer and your merits will certainly help clients or people further in whatever goals or whatever path they choose. And the people that this might really benefit are professionals, executives, and anybody who is looking for personal development as well as professional development, wherein they can come to me, get clarity on what they want and what they have to offer, and then I can just hand it over to you to help them create the right strategies to bring out their brand in front of people and start generating the leads. So these are some ways in which coaching and personal branding can go hand in hand, and it might prove beneficial to anyone looking for personal and professional development.
Exactly. So this is one of the reasons where we are thinking we can, like with the 5 takeaways that we're going to dive into just in a minute to talk about how LinkedIn, or how you can be successful on LinkedIn. With these 5 takeaways, what we can offer, and which is unique, is we have a life coach who really knows how to give clarity and make sure that you are on the right path, that you're following the thing that it fits best to you. And then I come, and so you have someone who then can help you make the best out of it. Once you have the clarity, then I can help you promote yourself for exactly that goal that you've defined for with Shreyas. This combination is new. This is not something we usually see. You either get the life coaching part, or you get marketing consulting, and we are combining both. So that is unique. And that being said, I think we should now start with our session and start delivering great value to the visitors and everyone who's watching. I think before we get started, one of the biggest things about being successful on LinkedIn, like, what's your goal? What do you want to achieve on LinkedIn? Do you want to get hired? Do you want to find an investor? Or do you want to just get clients? So there are a lot of different goals. Just make sure before you get started, you have to find what your goal is. So that is one of the big points that I think is sometimes missing. Or Shreyas, what is your feeling about that?
I completely agree because it is certainly necessary to define the use of LinkedIn. For me, it started with finding my full-time job as an engineer. And gradually, as in when I transitioned to become a coach, I started using LinkedIn to start delivering values regarding coaching, putting myself as a coach and establishing my brand, Get It Rise Coaching and Consulting. So it is really important to define one purpose because you don't want to end up confusing your audience. So you want to provide targeted value to people and let them know what is it that you really seek. So if you're a job seeker, then you might want to tailor your profile to show that you're having the particular skill sets needed for a particular job. For example, if you're a businessman like me who is doing coaching, then you might want to update your headlines and your profile to reflect what business you do. And also, it is important to generate that curiosity. And I see headline as a prime advertising space for reaching to your targeted audience. So it is really important that people decide what is the purpose of using LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And I really like the point that you've also made. And this is a big point for hear about what your goal is, because otherwise you're going to confuse people. So this is an issue that I've noticed with a lot of my clients, that they are trying to wear too many hats, and they're trying to be everything to everyone. And that is quite difficult on LinkedIn. So if you have one purpose, make sure that you're communicating that purpose or that goal, and make sure that you stick to it. So from there, I think we can start with the first takeaway. The first takeaway is, the biggest part is defining that goal. But once you have that goal, there are 5 takeaways or 5 steps that you can take that you're successful and actually building the personal brand. So one of the things really, and it would be great also, and I think Shreyas and me are going to tell a little bit of stories how we've used that. The first one is being authentic. Being authentic is so important, especially on LinkedIn, because it's probably attracting some kind of business person. So either someone who will hire you, someone who's going to become your client, or maybe an investor. So these people, no matter who it is, they're going to test you thoroughly on what you're telling them and what you're promoting on LinkedIn. So this is part of LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is a business platform. It's different from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram. There's no faking. Like whatever you fake, people are going to test you on that. And whatever trust, and if they find out it was fake, that trust cannot really be rebuilt on LinkedIn. Shreyas, what's your experience with that?
Certainly, because being authentic puts your true front in front of people. And because of the far reach of technology, there are ways in which people can really test if what you say works or not. And it is always better to preach something that you practice, because if you don't believe in whatever you say, ultimately it doesn't work out for anyone, and it indirectly hurts your brand and indirectly hurts your image as well. And to grow a good community who support you and who try to, and giving out a message which resonates with your audience is certainly important to start establishing yourself as an authority. And the best way to do that is to just stay authentic. Uh, you have to just, it don't have to be really very rigid. When we say authentic, you can try to be flexible, try to initiate dialogue, but in the end, just stay true to what you believe, uphold your values. For example, for me, the most important values are being responsible, connecting with my audience on a personal level, and believing in my skills and my strengths as a coach. So I don't want to end up in a situation where these values get compromised, because that doesn't feel authentic to me. And it is by being authentic that you can really reach the masses, you can really reach your audience and pull them towards you, get their attention, attract their interest. And ultimately, that is what translates into either a discovery session with you, or you might just get qualified leads, because people are always watching. And one of the most interesting things that happen on LinkedIn is some of the leads that you get would not have ever engaged on your content, but they would have just simply seen or browsed through. They remain inactive for various reasons. That might be either related to their organization or just their personal preference, but they end up seeing your posts and your content as well. So trying to be authentic as far as possible will certainly prove well for your brand in the long run.
Absolutely. Like that's also the experience that I've made. There's also the people that I see who are successful. They are being authentic. It's also okay. Like the people who are simply boasting on LinkedIn, I see they have a shelf life. But people who are investing in and putting that forward in on LinkedIn, those are the people who are successful long term. One of the reasons is we have to understand, like, whatever clients we want to attract through LinkedIn, in the end, like, your skills and your achievements, they are fine, they are social proof, but that's the bottom line. in a way for those people. Like if someone wants to hire you, if someone wants to become your client, the bottom line for them is that you have, in the end, is your personality. So it's really, they're investing in if they think you are the person who can help them, because there are a lot of people out there who have the same skills, but there's only one person that is the right fit. So that's why it's so important to focus on putting your personality and your authentic personality, so exactly the way that people would experience you once they would work with you, that they should also see in the stream. So this is one of the first takeaway. It's one of the most important. It should never be compromised. But it also, authenticity only helps you or makes you successful on LinkedIn if you're consistent. And that's where we're coming to the LinkedIn algorithm. In the end, if you want to be successful on LinkedIn, you have to be consistent, authentically consistent. But consistency is so important, because only then you will be able to stand out and get on top of the algorithm, so that people even start seeing your posts. So Shreyas, what's your experience with that? So
Well, consistency certainly is very important. And from the way I've experimented with things, I feel staying consistent, not just by posting regularly, but you need to consistently engage with your network, because that is something the algorithm will definitely consider. So when I mean engage, it is not just saying, thank you for this post, great reminder, great message. No, those do not even capture the attention of the algorithm. So when you start really commenting some meaningful things, which are about 3 to 4 lines, that is when algorithm considers that as well. And in my personal opinion, I think engagement on others' posts is somewhat like a mini content, and that will start giving you a wider exposure, and people will relate you to be a good expert on a variety of things, because that is the easiest way to do. Sometimes there is just, because of the way we live or the work, we might not be able to come out with a great content idea. Then it is just wise to start engaging with people on a consistent basis. So what I do is I just try to maintain a list. This is one of the suggestions I got from a dear friend of mine. So she asked me to just make a list of content writers that I can readily resonate with, that I like, and try to engage with them on a daily basis, so that automatically over a period of time, you get back the same thing. So people will start coming and engaging on your post. So you're reaching out organically as well. And trying to stay consistent with your post helps people to try and relate a particular subject matter to you. So I start posting about coaching, about life coaching and executive coaching. So I've got people who relate the coaching aspect to me directly. When they see a referral or when they see someone who is asking for a coaching recommendation, then I'll certainly be on top of their mind, because they've seen me post content regularly. And staying consistent just adds to your brand image, because you're investing your time and efforts to get yourself on the platform on a daily basis, and invest that time in delivering the value through your content, which will be appreciated by almost all of your audience. So they like you to, they want you to come out every day and start offering value, because definitely people will love free content. And if there is some good takeaways, then it acts as a great buy-in. So it will be an energetic buy-in, which will stay for a longer period of time, and the relationship will start, growing. And you might not be surprised to get some great referrals further to just improve your business as well. So staying consistent definitely helps.
absolutely. Like I also like, what I can only underscore is also the consistency of your brand. So if you have your own brand, and you've defined in which way you're interacting with someone and in what kind of words you're using and what kind of experience people should have. And that is also one big part of being consistent on LinkedIn, that in every post and every engagement, you always put that same experience forward, so that whenever people come across a post or a comment even, they recognize right away that it's you. And that you can only achieve in a way if you always write in the same style, if you use the same words that are going along with your brand. So this is a very important part of being consistent and eventually standing out or being recognizable, having this recognition factor. And that is one big part of being consistent too. And I really like what you said, Shreyas, about it's not just about posting, it's about engaging and not just saying, okay, thanks. But we're coming to the takeaway 3. It's, you should share actionable advice or share information as an actual takeaway as well for the people who read it. So this is takeaway 3. Share actionable information. Make sure that you comment and engage with people in a way that you say something insightful, and not just like, because if, for example, like I love the example when people just write, oh, great video. If someone writes great video, I know that they haven't watched it. So if you want to show people that you're interested in them, so it's quantity over quality over quantity, give some comment about the content of what they were writing, and so that they see that you actually took out the time to engage with their comment and take them seriously. Because only if they see you take them seriously, they are going to even be ready to kind of invest their own attention in you. Shreyas, what's your opinion on the actionable information part?
For me, actionable content certainly ties with the purpose, because purpose and action are something which are tightly interrelated. So you can easily, translate your purpose into action by just being patient, by persevering, and most importantly, having passion, because passion is something that will really drive you to stay consistent, stay authentic, and at the same time try to share great value, where just by reading your content people feel empowered, people feel motivated, and people feel inspired. Because lately algorithm is not behaving the way it should be. But what I've seen is some form of content always performs very well, that those contents are where you have actionable statements, you have people, you inspire people to take action, and sometimes you help people have the awareness of the relation between your purpose and the action you take, and giving out a bridge to just reduce the gap. I think those content really perform very well irrespective of what the algorithm does, because there are people where they do not have more than like a sizable number of followers, but their content get a meaningful engagement. The only reason why I can think of such a high engagement is because of these top 3 reasons. They are consistent, they're staying authentic, and most importantly, they are sharing actionable steps. So when you help people translate their purpose into action and give them some insights, I think it's an absolute winner. So delivering actionable steps is also very important to stay true to your brand and also improve your brand image.
Yeah, totally. Like this is one big part, and what I really like is that great way of using actionable steps and advice and content in multiple ways on LinkedIn. So takeaway 4 is use storytelling. And it's really amazing now on LinkedIn. We have stories, LinkedIn stories. We have comments, we can make videos, we can have events, we can have webinars. There's a lot of different options that we have to promote ourselves and promote our brand. And at least like from my experience, for example, I'm always trying, like that's also to part, I'm always trying to take people on a journey. So I'm trying to let people be a part of my development, of what I'm doing, and really engage in, or make them engage with me as a brand. This is something that storytelling allows us to do, so we can tell our journey in stories, not just LinkedIn stories, but like not just sharing and boasting what we're good in and our product and so on. We want to and to be successful on LinkedIn is if people actually understand who the personality is behind the product, that they see that emotional connection kind of, that because LinkedIn in the end is still, it's a business platform, but it's a business platform for people. So you should always put the personality first. And I mean, one of the biggest personal brands, like I always say his name wrong, Guy Wynachuk. I don't know how to say his name, but he became because he was videos about himself, and he was basically, recording himself all the time on LinkedIn, and that way he gained momentum, and that way people started to understand who he is and why he's an expert in what he's doing. So this is one great way of also putting your brand forward on LinkedIn. Shreyas, what do you think about the storytelling? What's your experience?
Once again, it really ties up very well to the way I've seen some of my favorite content creators change their style, which is to improve on their storytelling and incorporate a wide variety of ways in which they can weave a story and make it relatable to the audience. So once you speak to the audience, once you address a particular pain point that a group of audience are facing and give out a solution all to the form of a story, that is when you just have a great buy-in, and you start generating that curiosity in people. They want to know more. They want to start implementing the tips that you just shared in your content and try it out for themselves. And if it works, again, it's a great boost where they come back to you and start asking for more. So storytelling uh, definitely works, and especially since the advent of stories on LinkedIn, yes, sometimes I feel bad, it has become more of an Instagram kind of thing, but there is a great way of using stories to your advantage. You can start just putting out some simple graphics where you reach a good one number of audience, and people who do not have time, they just tend to look at stories and start responding to it. So storytelling can definitely be an important aspect for anybody that wants to put out effective content. I'm still learning how to effectively tell a story for coaching. It's a path of progress for me, but I've found whenever I tell a good story and addresses one of the pain points, I don't consider addressing 3 or 4 in a single post. I just pick up one, try to get the story out, and when I share it, that is when people start engaging, people start commenting, and your post also reaches a wide audience. So storytelling is a great way to reach a greater audience and stir up that curiosity and initiate a good dialogue.
That's a really great point. It's I think that also already That's a great transition to the last takeaway. And the last takeaway is, again, more content related. It's like share information that not everyone already has. So this is, I think, one of the tips or advices that work on all the platforms. They also work on Twitter. They work on basically all the platforms. If you take the time, quantity, sure that you have takeaways in it. Maybe even take the time to analyze something, and you can put forward like a result that other people don't know about, or something that you yourself found out or developed, or even for your like on that part that helps you promote your expertise and position yourself as an expert for something. So we believe someone is an expert if they can tell you something you don't already know, right? So this is kind of how we think someone is an expert. If you think about that every single time you put something out and you post something or make something public, think about, okay, is this something that really highlights my expertise, something that is new? Obviously, we cannot do that every time, but it should be a major share. And the second part is also in regards to personal branding. So also share things about yourself that are not readily available. This is especially great if you think about getting hired. So that is really amazing tool, because there you can highlight personality more than just a content piece. But I mean, no one needs to know what you had for breakfast, but just share something unique about you that elevates your personality, that elevates your skill set, and makes you look authentic and not like a robot. So this is takeaway 5, and share information that's not readily available and kind of underscores your expertise. Yeah, Shreyas, what do you think? Like, how did you utilize general with this on LinkedIn?
Yes, certainly for me, this ties to being authentic as well. So, one of the key things that my coach always tells me is be you, be unique. So, when you're trying to share something that not everyone knows, or rather trying to bring out your interpretation of a particular thing, that in itself will be very unique, because we might be 7 billion people on this earth, but we have 7 billion ways of thinking as well. Not no one person in this universe is alike. So if we can just tap into that and try to bring out our interpretation of things and deliver something which we truly value, so putting that value and the interpretation and delivering it through your content, through your speeches, or through whatever media that you choose, definitely will appeal to your audience, because one, you're trying to do something different. Second, you're trying to stay authentic and respect your values, while at the same time there is something different going on as well. For example, automotive industry, it's been present for over a century, but each upgrade, each model is so unique and so different. Like there are about, I don't know, probably thousands of designs already possible in the last 100 years, but still we are trying to build better cars with new features that people wouldn't have even thought of a decade ago, and some are thinking a decade ahead. So there are multiple ways where you can provide your interpretation. So one brand totally differs from another, although they're doing the same product. There are different ways of calling a particular feature. There are different ways of integrating those features into a workable machine. And there are different ways in which they can design the exterior, the interior. So the variety is easily shown. So you're ultimately building the same product, which is an automobile, but the way you approach that final stage is totally different and very unique to that particular designer of that particular company. So, taking all these historical examples, you don't have to invent something new. You just have to invent a new way of achieving the same old thing. And if it is, time saving, if it is slightly better, if it is saving you lots of money, that is what people want. So trying to bring out your uniqueness, your interpretation into something that you want to share, that will definitely bring you great interest. It will generate interest. It will bring you great buy-in to whatever service or product that you're offering.
Yeah, I love that point, because that's exactly the content that my book is that evolves around. So the book called Unique, and that's exactly the point. And that's just really important on LinkedIn, not copying what other people are doing just because they're successful, but thinking about, okay, maybe some of the methods are successful, but how can I then to my story, to my brand, to my values, and especially like the goal that I'm trying to achieve. So I love that you brought up these examples. They're really great on kind of visualizing what it means to have a unique brand and the power that a unique brand actually has. Yeah, so I think we've already come to an end. We've shared the 5 takeaways. Thank you also for everyone who left a comment. Really happy about that you're engaging with our videos. There's more to come every week. And a lot more executive coaching. And feel free to also share topics that you would be interested in with us. And Shreyas, do you want to say something else at the end of the session?
I'm really grateful, and thank you for inviting me to collaborate with you, because this is a totally new subject that I'm here to explore, and this is a great opportunity for me to explore that. And thank you to each and everyone who have taken their time out of the busy schedule to watch our live session. Feel free to reach us through our DMs. Feel free to connect with us. We are there to help you, and we would definitely like to have discovery sessions with you if you have any issues. Melanie is quite open as well, so you can reach out to her, connect with her, and I'm quite open side to receive all your invitations and connect. I'd love to connect, because that is a key value for me as well. So reach out anytime. We are there to help you, and stay tuned for more episodes to come for Final Coaching.
Perfect. Have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone who joined. And we're looking week on Tuesday, not Thursday, but Tuesday. So see you then, and have a nice day.